How did it happen ulit?
Bibili lang si Pedro ng toyo tapos nasaksak pa siya ng walang kalaban-laban.
Baka kasi he's dressed up like someone you kinda like to saksak.
Tol.
Pero dapat, he didn't buy the toyo na lang kasi. At wala ginusto niya yun.
Tol.
Bro, what I'm saying is that, dapat, he didn't dress up like someone you kinda like to saksak. And dapat he didn't buy the toyo anymore.
Anyari sa logic mo?
Kawawa naman yung sumaksak, bro. Ano? Kasi, pa-victim yung si Pedro.
In this video, this is an example of victim blaming, which is stigmatized in most situations of sexual harassment as well as in everyday crimes. Blame is a reaction or judgment directed towards someone who is morally responsible for their behavior. An ethical principle that may arise from the video is deontology, which tell us that our actions are good or bad according to the set of rules. Based on deontology, if someone is blameworthy, they deserve to be blamed regardless of the consequences. Another principle in the categorical imperative which binds everyone and tell us that people should respect humanity and comply with these rules or norms that apply to everyone. In the case of the video's conversation, it is clear that the action of the attacker is wrong since he violated the rules, which is harming or attempted murder, and the stabbed man was innocent and did not violate any rules.
Smart shaming? Just to put it simply, ito yung pag-shame sa isa na into intellectual pursuit. It encompasses all types of smart. The sad thing about this is that minsan, yung intellectual pa mismo ang smart shamer. Ay, sa social media, palasak ang smart shaming in the guise of calling out daw. Hey, I don't mean na may matamaan na. This is just a paalala. Unless you are authorized by law or you represent the voice of the people, then you cannot just call out someone publicly. Unless that someone is a public person in the performance of his or her function. So, if you have the habit of just calling out anybody in their intellectual pursuit just because they're wrong according to your standards, then congrats. You're a self-entitled smart shamer. And if you are being defensive now, you little smart shamer. Eto pag-isipan. Bakit kaya unethical daw, according sa mga codes of ethics and professional conduct, ang i-criticize publicly ang isang associate at fellow professional? Ayan, that is the reason. Kasi may ethical ways naman. Communicate with the person privately, at kapag ayaw makapagsettle at masipag ka, so write to the rightful authorities. Hindi yung isa-shame natin sila. Kung educator ka naman, pwede kang gumawa ng content supplementing the missing facts. Natulungan mo na siyang maklarify yung point niya, nasuportahan mo pa ang edu community. Lots of smart shamers do what they do for the same reasons why it has long been used as a political weapon ng isang may influence sa isang setting na may power dynamics. Alamin niyo kung paano namatay si Socrates, si Rizal, si Jesus. Baka magets niyo. Not all trends are ethical. Stop smart shaming. Educate better.
In this video, guys, as you can see, smart shaming is a group of people mocking someone for being smarter than them. One of the places that smart shaming takes place is in school, mostly, where someone or some of them are more confident, that's less intelligent kids will mock their more studious peers. Younger people may not have a full grasp of the value of intelligence or the power of knowledge at this age, and instead, they may see the habits of a good student. Smart shaming also occurs because of someone's ego. Some people see people who give intellectual advice as bragging.
So, how do you feel right now? I'm comfortable naman. Comfortable. Tol, wait. Familiar yan. Pero di ba sa communication may batas? Ang sabi, ang goal nito is maitawid ng mensahe. So, kung hindi naman ambiguous, tapos nasa-serve naman yung purpose nito, okay lang yun. Ay, yung sundo natin, tumatawag na, tol. Hello?
Hello, kuya. Ready na kayo?
Kuya.
Kuya.
Kuya. Ilang beses ko na ito tinuro sa'yo, paulit-ulit na tayo. Double standards? Bawal yan. Ang goal nito is maitawid ng mensahe.
Behti hawa sa thawa.
Oh, sige. Kuya. Ready na kami.
So here now, guys, as we can see in the video, When the guy in the hat talked about how to pronounce the comfortable, he said that there's a rule in communication that no matter how you say it, as long as the message has been sent successfully, it's okay. But when his driver called him, he lectured him about the right pronunciation of kuya. And then Sir Kel reminded him not to have a double standard. Double standards are frequently used to indicate how one group is afforded more freedom than another. When two or more person, groups, organizations, circumstances, or events are handled differently. So they should be treated the same way.
Ito ang mga bagay na pwede mong sabihin upang makatulong sa isang taong dumaranas ng depression or anxiety.
Mahalaga ka sa akin.
By saying that, you're letting them know that you care for them.
Nandito ako para sa'yo.
Let them know that you are here for them.
Kapatid, paano ako makakatulong?
Asking them about what you can do to help will make them feel validated.
Kung kailangan mo ng makakausap, nandito ako.
But what you really meant by that is you are willing to listen, not to talk back, but to listen.
May pag-asa.
Remind them that depression and anxiety disorders are now treatable. This video is for educational purposes only. Still, the best help that you can give is to encourage them to see a doctor and let them know that it's okay to. Mag-upload ako ng video about what not to say. Follow me so you won't miss it.
So here in this video, as you can see, many people have experienced depression. Some people share their depression with other people, and some people take it on their own. So, what is depression is all about? Severe depression can cause cognitive problem which can have a negative impact on moral judgment. According to the video by Sir Kiel, depression and anxiety are treatable, which means that the problem can be easily solved if communicates or shares the problem with the person close to you to help how to solve it. And if the problem is not shared, it will prolong his problem. It is really important to share their feelings. This is the only way to have courage and reduce resentment, because many people who experience depression nowadays commit suicide. They soak their problems in themselves. So it is really important, guys, to share and ask from help from other people. It is not so hard for us to talk to other and share our problem, because sharing is caring, guys.
If you see yourself saying the same thing, you may be dealing with a narcissist. A narcissist is someone who has an exaggerated sense of self-importance, excessive self-entitlement, perspective niya lang ang basehan ng tama at katotohanan, lacks empathy, hirap siyang maglagay ng kanyang sarili sa sitwasyon ng iba. Pero hindi mo yung kagad nahalata kasi nung nagsisimula pa lang kayo, maging close, papakita niyo sa'yo na ikaw yung pinaka-espesyal na tao para sa kanya. So, nabulag ka. Eventually, lilitaw din yung kanyang tunay na kulay. Biglang hindi ka na ganun ka-special. Halos wala ka nang ginawang tama, biglang ganun. Magsisimula na yung emotional, psychological, even financial, physical, or sexual abuse niya laban sa'yo. Mawawala yung self-respect at self-worth mo. Then, boom! Communication stops. Either through silent treatment or ghosting. Bumalik man siya sa'yo, uulit lang ulit ang cycle. If this is your story, you are a victim of a narcissistic abuse. Mag-upload ako ng video about other signs of narcissism. Follow me so you won't miss it.
As a personality type, narcissism is defined as selfishness with a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy, and a desire for praise. Narcissists are described as individuals with dysfunctional personality traits such as a lack of psychological awareness and empathy. Theories of ethical behavior assume that unethical action trigger moral emotions of guilt and shame. Currently, there is a lack of knowledge on moral emotions as dispositional traits and their potential influence on behavior in individuals with narcissistic traits. According to the video, a narcissistic person's point of view is based on what is right or wrong for them. Also, he mentioned love bombing, where a person shows affection and attention to another so that they can influence that person. Narcissism has no cure, and a person who has this trait has a possibility to repeat this on their next relationship. This also has the potential to affect the other party, which may develop trust issues in a relationship, or worse, he or she might become afraid to enter a new relationship.
Mental illness is not a state of mind. And when someone is diagnosed to have a mental disorder, it means to say na may part ng physical brain niya ang hindi nagka-function ng kagaya ng sa karamihan. Example, sa mga people with depression. May mga times na yung part ng brain nila responsible for giving the feeling of happiness ay hindi gumagana for a certain period of time. Sometimes it lasts long, like months without any interval. Kaya gustuhin man nila sumaya, hindi nila ito magawa kasi yung physical brain mismo ang may problem. At kung sasabihan mo sila ng kaya mo yan, laban lang, it's all in the mind, ay para mong pinipilit tumakbo ang isang taong lumpo o walang mga paa. It just doesn't work that way. Alam mo ba na there are over 200 classified forms of mental illness and depression is just one of them? And more often than not, people who suffer from this are invalidated and judged by ignorant people.
The main topic of this TikTok video is mental illness. Mental illness is a health problem that affects how a person thinks, behave, and interact with others. Some mental disorders affecting a person's desire includes impulse control disorders such as kleptomania, pyromania, and pathological gambling, or can be considered human acts. But some of the mental illness that affect a person's belief and other cognitive abilities such as schizophrenia, psychotic, depression, and bipolar affective disorder can be considered as acts of man. On the other hand, individuals with psychopathic personality cannot understand morality and moral concerns and should not be blamed why they act wrongly. People are more inclined to have materialistic tendencies in today's society. To demand for luxury and name brand clothing, accessories has become an obsession. To buy clothes for a love of fashion is not materialistic, but buying clothes to impress others is materialistic. A lot is going on right now and we should think about it and figure out if we're acting properly and ethically. Don't get caught up in the material things since time flies and we never know what's around the corner and who knows what's in front of us.
He's a professor? How did... Oh my god. Wow, A professor who teaches feminist ideologies, and he's not a woman? I know it's possible, I'm just shocked that I've found someone like that. He commented. Wait lang. The fact that he can recognize that women do get oppressed, and just because we say men are trash and we recognize systemic oppression doesn't mean we're belittling men. He knows that feminism does not equate to women being over men. Men, come on! Step up your game! It's possible! Power to you, sir. Educate more people, please. Educate more men. Use your voice and your platform.
Feminism needs equality in terms of social and political approach. This TikTok video expressed the equality of opportunity in all aspects of human beings and to educate everybody. In addition, this is the advocacy of women's rights on the ground of equality of the sexes. Fight for the belief that every woman and a man should have equal rights and opportunities and organize activity on behalf of women's rights and interests. It is a political movement that exists to rectify sexual inequalities, although strategies for social change vary enormously. A Western tradition that restricted the rights of women for gender issues, women's sexual liberation, reproductive rights, job opportunities for women, violence against women, and changes in custody and divorce laws.